Hi, and welcome to the Homeopathy Health Show here on the UK Health Radio Network. I'm Atik.
And I'm Naila.
We're both professional registered homeopaths, and between us have over 25 years of professional practice in this field of healing.
The Homeopathy Health Show is the voice of homeopathy on radio and podcasts around the world, promoting and raising awareness of this truly unique system of healing and healthcare, which is suitable for all ages, young and old.
Every week, we invite guests from the world of homeopathy to come and share their experiences, their work, offer insights, and essentially talk all things homeopathy.
Visit www.ukhealthradio.com to listen now. To find out more about us, you can visit us at www.homeopathyinpractice.co.uk. And whilst you are there, do subscribe to our newsletter.
Be inspired
and join the conversation.
So let's begin today's show here on the UK Health Radio Network, the world's #1 talk health radio.
Real feel-good radio.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Homeopathy Health Show here on the UK Health Radio Network. And I am one of your hosts, Atik.
And I'm Naila. Welcome, everyone.
I don't know why I said it so softly, Atik? But hey, anyway, listen, I do hope you've had a wonderful week. And hey, it's wonderful, because the Homeopathy Health Show is connecting homeopaths from around the world, and new communities are being formed and created and established, and new friendships are blooming. So it's just absolutely brilliant. And thank you to the 70,000 odd listeners every week for the show. We're so grateful to you. But please, if there is a homeopath that you want on the episode, please get in touch, okay? You can go to ukhealthradio.com. You can go to homeopathyinpractice.co.uk. Contact us there. Just Google us. But also on all the major podcast platforms. So Apple, Spotify, iHeart, and Pocket Casts. I can't remember the rest because there's too many. But hey, I have a joke for you. It may not be very funny the way I tell you, okay? But it's a joke that's called the remedy confusion, okay? So here goes. And if it's bad and cheesy, I apologize well in advance, but you got to try something new, okay? So a student once asked their teacher, right, what's the best remedy for people who talk way too much? And the teacher smiled and he said, well, that depends. Do you want to cure them or just survive the conversation? I don't even know I'm laughing. Which takes me on to something somebody recently said to me, is that, how can people talk so much? And I tell you what, it was just the way it was said is absolute classic. I'll never, ever forget that. And when I'm really down, I think of those words, and they just so cheer me up, I tell you. Now, before we move to our guest, some facts for you, okay, as we do every week now. NASA and homeopathy. So, in the 1990s, okay, NASA studied highly dilute solutions, potencies, to see how they affect enzymes and the biological systems in microgravity, and that they found measurable changes which showed them that even ultra dilutions can interact with living systems. As homeopaths, we knew that. But hey, everyone catch up. Now, second fact, the memory of water isn't just a theory. Now, there is a Nobel Prize winning scientist who sadly has passed away, Luc Montagnier, and he's the one who discovered HIV. His published research showed that water can retain electromagnetic signals of substances once diluted out of existence, generally after the Avogadro principle, a phenomena very similar to how homeopathy works. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we go to epidemics, because boy, have we had one recently. I won't mention which one. Take a guess, because there's only been one big one recently. Homeopathy and epidemics. Now, in the 1800s and actually, that was a pandemic, but you know what I mean. In the 1800s and early 1900s, homeopathy often had significantly lower death rates during epidemics like cholera and, of course, the Spanish flu, compared to conventional medicine of the time. For example, during the 1918 influenza pandemic, homeopathic hospitals in the United States reported mortality rates of just 1 to 3%. That's absolutely true, ladies and gentlemen, 1 to 3%, compared to 30 to 50% in conventional hospitals. So, the reason Naila and we share these facts is just so you know that homeopathy is not just tinkering about. It is the second largest system of medicine on this planet, and it really does make a huge impact on people's life, because it doesn't just treat complex pathology. It treats everything, including us as human beings and entities and spiritual beings and beings that function through electromagnetic signals. Anyway, enough about that. Nyla.
Today, we are honored to welcome Sally Williams, a highly respected homeopath, teacher, and author with over 3 decades of experience, 33 years of private practice. Sally's journey with homeopathy began in 1986 and quickly grew into a lifelong vocation. She is certified by the North American Society of Homeopaths and the Council for Homeopathic Certification and holds a master's in clinical homeopathy. There are not many of that out there now. Over the years, she has studied with some of the most renowned teachers in the world, including Paul Herscu, Luke Line, Jeremy Sher, Rajan Sankaran, Massimo Mangialavori, and Jan Scholten. Brilliant, amazing teachers. Beyond her clinical work, Sally is director of the Healing Arts Association of Western New York, a published author in leading international journals, and a key contributor to the Great Lakes Provings Project, which explores the creation of new remedies. She has also taught homeopathy at colleges and universities, lectured internationally, and continues to inspire students and practitioners with her depth of knowledge and dedication. As Luke Line has said, Sally Williams is one of the most dedicated and accomplished senior homeopaths in teachers of homeopathy in North America. We are thrilled to have her with us today to share her story, her wisdom, and her vision for the future of homeopathy.
Welcome. Welcome,
Thank
Sally,
you.
to the Homeopathy Health Show.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here. This
It's
is
exciting
fun.
times. It's very exciting times. And ladies and gentlemen, sadly, there is some sad news. There is never really any sad news on the Homeopathy Health Show, but it's sad for me and Nyla because when this episode actually does come out, Sally will have visited the UK. Yes, this is where we reside, in the great United Kingdom. But we'll have missed each other because it's just the way the calendars are. But hey, the good news is we have connected and Sally is on the show.
Thank you.
So, Sally, we would love to know, before we delve into something else, what was it that brought you to homeopathy?
Oh, that's kind of an interesting story. I was married and I was pregnant with my first child, and my husband said to me, "Let's have the baby at home. Let's do a home birth." And I said, "Are you kidding?" And I took him seriously and I started researching what it was like to have a home birth. And when you start to research things alternatively and going against the grain, especially in Buffalo, New York, you find different ways of doing lots of things. And so as I was researching home birth and breastfeeding and all these other things, homeopathy just came up over and over and over again. And I became so interested in it that I found someone in the area that was teaching in a study group homeopathy. And I started with her. And then I decided I needed more and more and more. And I started studying with Paul Herscu and then started my own practice. So it was very quick. The moment I put my toe into it, it just
it is fascinating, isn't it? You know how people come into homeopathy. I know that Nyla, just the previous episode, actually, she was sharing how she managed to get through and start homeopathy, and I have a sort of similar story, and it's wonderful, isn't it? It's a calling. You know, I absolutely believe that now. It is a calling. It's not just, things don't happen by chance. You don't just walk into an old street in London and go, this is not me, by the way, it's just an example, and go into a bookshop and there's just happens to be a 20-year-old piece of paper that says homeopaths wanted, and you start thinking, what is this? And next thing you know it, you're enrolled right into a college or a school. And you know, it's so many thousands of different examples. It's wonderful, isn't it, Sally?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And it's exciting every single day. So I've been practicing, like you said, for 33 years, and I still get incredibly excited when I have a good case in front of me, especially at that follow-up when they come in and they tell you about how well they're doing. And I'm incredulous. I still go, really? Are you really that well? But it's just so exciting. And of course, I have to say, with teachers like Lou Klein and Jan Scholten, especially, the excitement keeps going. With Jan's new book, Autistic Ferns, it just has lit another fire on of study and of bringing it to my practice. It's always, yeah.
Yay, signed copy. We got signed copy.
Yay. It's always exciting.
I was
It's
just showing Sally, because this is an audio podcast, the book from Jan Scholten. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so inspiring that we are in a profession where every day is full of excitement, new
Yeah.
things, new people, and it's wonderful to hear and see that even though there has been 3 decades, 4 decades, but we are still loving it. It's always it's new. It's always
Yeah.
new, exciting. Oh, what is there now? What is out there now? And before we were talking about provings, before we started the podcast, and you have extensive work and knowledge in this department. Would love to know before going anywhere, what are provings for our viewers?
Well, as we were speaking, Jeremy Sher taught me a long time ago that it's the shamanistic journey of the homeopaths. And he's so right, because you go into an altered state and you're becoming the substance that you're proving. And it's remarkable and it's seamless. I mean, you aren't even aware of the shift in your being during the time that you're doing the proving. And it's the information that you get, the fact the substance is speaking to you about its higher purpose, that the substance has the power to heal, and it's telling you how it can do that, how it can contribute. And it's not just to human beings, it's also to plants and animals. We can use homeopathy. I believe that all homeopaths should do at least one proving in their life.
I agree with you, because before I did the proving, I didn't know what it's going to be, what a journey it's going to be. And it's a transformation. As a homeopath, it's a transformation. You experience what a remedy does. And after you have experienced that, you can actually use them even more wisely. That these things that are in your hand are powerful. They can change everything.
Yeah.
Used in the right way. And I am fascinated by how the provings work, how they change you. And I would love to tell everyone, we as homeopaths use remedies on healthy individuals to prove them, unlike any other medicines where everything else is a lab rat. In homeopathy, humans are the lab rats.
Right. Exactly. And I think some people are afraid of provings, and they shouldn't be. I think that sometimes provings that are only conducted partially, people end up with symptomology that they don't care to have, that is brought on by the proving and can continue afterwards. But if a proving is conducted in a way that that a container is created amongst the provers and the supervisor, that there is stages. So in the beginning of the proving, there's the expression of the substance that you're proving, and it comes out through the provers. And the next phase is the problem shows up. So then when the problem shows up and we understand what a person would be complaining of or having a difficult time with, then you need to then find resolution. So when you find during the proving, when the solution is revealed to the problem, then the proving's done. And that can happen in the first hour of a trituration, or it can happen 2 weeks during a Hahnemannian proving. But there's always a need for those 3 elements to be completed so people can let go of the proving. And once that's done, you can move on.
It's Sally, it takes me on to, we've got so much to talk about. Woo! So exciting. Can't control myself. Come on, brace yourselves. But it just takes me on to, Nyla did a proving. She's going to, I hope you can share, which was honey fungus at the School of Homeopathy. But also it's quite interesting because we meet so many homeopaths, and a lot of them can, even though it's not a proving, can smell which remedy is right for them or just know it. I mean, we have that, right? We talk about this, right? You say to me, no, it's not this and this. And then after a couple of days, we think, nah, leave it. After a couple of days, it's that remedy because it just shows up in the repertory or when you look at rubrics and stuff. It's just phenomenal, isn't it? How the remedies, how that energy almost sort of fuses with ourselves if it's the right remedy. It's amazing, isn't it? That process,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
I would like to carry forward with the trituration proving and the Hahnemannian proving. You mentioned that in trituration proving, the reveal can happen in 1 hour, and in Hahnemannian, it's 2 weeks. Have you seen this happening? Notice in your experience, what is it, the difference between you have seen in trituration and in the Hahnemannian proving? How was it? My favorite way to prove a substance is through trituration. I just love the process of being with the substance, being with the people throughout the entire process, seeing the expression all together as a group, seeing the problem arise, talking about the problem, and then discovering what the resolution is, all in a group in a 3 hour or 4 hour, depending if you're doing a C3 or a C4. But a lot of times the movement is revealed very quickly, but you still need to go through to a 3C to be able to make it, stable enough so then you can send it to the pharmacy to have it made into a remedy. But in the Hahnemannian provings, which is where I started, my very first proving was monkey orchid, and it was a Hahnemannian proving, and it was so large and so cumbersome and took me so long to figure out what was expression, what was the problem, how do we resolve this, what is the essence. There was so much information and took me so long to get through it and kind of figure out what is exactly this remedy is about, that I thought there has to be an easier way. And then I read about trituration provings and sense provings and dream provings, all the different kinds. But I think that the trituration proving I'm so drawn to because it is with a group of people, and the interaction of that group of people shows the different sides of what a person would be like if they came to you and needed that remedy. So you can see different expressions of the remedy in the people that are proving it at the same time. It's just much more succinct. It's much more, it's just blossoming in front of your eyes. It's just amazing.
It is, isn't it? I laugh because it's just it really is a process. I mean, you have to go through it, right, to be able to experience that, and
Yeah.
it's just incredible, isn't it? It really
Yeah.
is.
The provings that we did at the School of Homeopathy, it's a group proving and double blind. We don't know what the substance is, and we suckus the remedy to C30 and then take one pill. Everyone takes one pill, and then we don't talk to each other. We have a supervisor assigned, and we note down our symptoms. And after a month, we get together, and somehow everyone has similar type of physical, mental,
Mhm.
emotional symptoms,
Yeah.
and which is something that is beyond understanding, beyond imagination. Like you cannot make this thing up.
Right. Exactly.
And with
And
honey,
it
yeah.
it's interesting that that is the protocol that you use, because that's what we wrote about in the Great Lakes Proving Protocol,
Mm,
is that it was a mixture of trituration and Hahnemannian proving.
mm,
So the trituration kind of catalysts you into
mm.
the middle of a Hahnemannian proving. Yeah.
Yeah. We used
There's
the
yeah.
Jeremy Share's guidelines on how he wanted the provings to be, and that's being used. But again, the energy of the group
Yeah.
amplifies the energy of the remedy, and it's like some people just wanted to get off the room. Some felt that they are being looked at. Some felt we cannot be separated, and we wanted to connect. And we felt like physical pain when we couldn't contact each other.
Wow.
Yeah, it
There's
was just
there's a
yeah.
certain sanctity, isn't it? There's a sanctity to approving, because you could just say, well, anyone could take that remedy, but when you prove it, it's a different mindset, isn't it? And the heart vibrates at a different frequency at that moment, it's just
Mhm.
to be receptive. It's such a, it's just, yeah, again, I'll use that word. So there's a sanctity to it, and it's beautiful.
Would
But
like to.
we had actually, was it Elise, with Elise recently, we did the lioness proving Sekhmet, and we did that online. And again, it was profound changes. It was a meditative proving, and what everybody was expressing, and some of the things that happened afterwards, I probably can't share, but it's yeah, interesting.
But Elise also works with trituration, and she also talks about the levels of trituration. The way you were expressing that there are different levels that people provers experience on C1, C2, C3,
Mhm.
and they succus it to whatever potency they want it to be succussed.
Yeah.
And this is I'm hearing it from you, so I think I do need to take part in a trituration proving at some point.
Mm. Which,
It's
which,
so
yeah,
exciting.
which takes us on, can I say, to the Great Lakes Proving Project. There you go, Sally. I said it right.
Well,
Uh,
thank you.
I said it wrong earlier because, like Jonathan Ross in the UK, I don't have a problem with my R's, but I have a problem with my P's. But anyway, and these are not the edible peas, okay? 5 a day. But hey, Sally, takes us on again. It's a deja vu. I did not just say that, but I'll say it again. That was one of those Badit moments, wasn't it? But takes us on very happily to
Uh,
the Great Lakes Proving Project, which has a number of remedies. And we were thinking, Nyla and I, if you would just touch upon some of them, maybe for everybody's interest and education and inspiration.
sure. Well, we decided to create the group because we wanted to try to like I said, my first proving was the monkey orchid, and it was very, very cumbersome. So we wanted to figure out a way to make provings a bit more manageable. And so we wrote a protocol, which is first about trituration and then doing part the Hahnemann, where you actually take the remedy itself. Since then, I mean, we wrote that protocol probably 20 years ago. And since then, like I said before, I've become very fond of trituration provings. So I most of the provings I've done most recently have all been trituration provings. But we've done quite a few remedies in using the protocol. We did Citrus nobilis, which was all of the provings are very fun and they're very exciting. But the Citrus nobilis proving was very exciting. There was a lot of talk about exclusion and inclusion, talking about cliques and how people like to be in cliques and feel like they need to keep others out. So it's a remedy around people not including others.
Sorry, cliques? Did you say cliques?
Clique is a group of people that have something in common that don't want to share. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was Citrus nobilis. One of the really wonderful provings was computer emanation, which I'll actually be discussing in my lecture to the Southeast Homeopathic Group for Jonathan on October 19th, because it's become a great remedy for transgender dysphoria. So this kind of confusion around sexual identity. Computer emanation is a very strong remedy for especially young adults who have a lot of confusion around their identity, whether it's sexual or not. We did, oh goodness, what were some of the others? We did
Thunbergia Grandiflora.
The Thunbergia.
Yeah.
This is a fabulous story that I'd love to tell you. But that wasn't with the Great Lakes Provings. That was with Jan Scholten. I had arranged a proving seminar in Panama. So we were in Bocas del Toro, Panama at a botanical gardens. And I had contact with the man and woman that runs that particular botanical garden. And so we arranged to have it. We had about 5 or 6 people from Europe. And then, of course, Jan, Robert Muntz from Remedies. And then the rest of us were from North America. And so we went to Panama. We ended up spending a week. And during that week, we proved 15 new remedies. And Thunbergia happened to be one of them. But this particular proving was so surprising to me. We arrived in Panama. Everybody went to their rooms. We got settled in. We had dinner. We chatted about how the week was going to go, how we were going to do the provings. We took a tour of the botanical gardens. It was great. And then we all went to bed and we were starting the provings the next day. I was supposed to be in one of the groups. I was going to be supervisor that day, and I would have 3 people doing the proving. So we exchanged that all week long. 1 supervisor, 3 provers, and that's how we went forward. That night, I had a nightmare. It was terrible. In my dream, I was washing dishes, and my son.
That's a nightmare in itself. That's the nightmare. Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Doing the dishes.
Yeah. That's a nightmare. That really is. That's a living nightmare. That is.
Yes.
Yeah.
My eldest son came to me, and at that time in the dream, he was about 5 years old. And he hugged on my shirt and said, Mama, Julian's sick. Julian's my youngest son. And in the dream, he was about 3 years old. And I said, Emerson, it'll be fine. Your brother will be fine, not to worry. So he toddles off, comes back later and says, Mama, you have to check on Julian. He's really sick. I said, Emerson, stop bothering me. He's going to be okay. He toddles off, comes back a 3rd time and says, Mama, Julian's died.
Oh.
And I was like, are you kidding? I burst into tears.
Oh,
I run out of the house. I get in my van and I drive to a restaurant. And coming out of the restaurant was a friend of mine in real life whose daughter had died of suicide just not even a year before, about 10 months before this proving.
mm,
She gets into the car and says, Sally, why are you crying? And I said, I didn't pay attention. I didn't know what was happening. I neglected Julian and now he's died. And she hugged me and said, I know we don't always see the signs. And she, of course, was speaking about her daughter being dead. I woke up, I freaked out. I called my sons from Panama to make sure that they were okay, and everything was fine. So I go to the botanical gardens that morning, and I'm still very shaken up. And I went to Hans Eberall, who was going to be in the proving that I wanted to do. And I said, I can't be supervisor. I just cannot be supervisor. This is like horrific. This dream is just with me. And he said, I'll be supervisor. I go, so what are you going to prove? And he said, oh, I don't know. And he looks around and he picks this flower off an arbor, and it's Thunbergia, sky flower, blue sky flower. And I said, well, has it ever been proven before? We go to Jan. Jan checks. No, it's never been proven. So we prove this remedy. Come to find out, my dream was already the proving of the remedy. So I had already proved it in my dream the night before I even knew what we were going to prove.
wow.
It's in the verbane. So the number, the botanical number is 665. And then the phase is 6, which is about neglect.
Mhm.
And the subphase is 1. And the stage is 15, which of course is about loss.
Mm.
So it is about being neglectful, not seeing the signs, feeling horrifically guilty because someone has either left you or died because of your neglect.
Mhm.
And there's so many good cases out there now of people who have used this remedy in those particular cases.
Mm.
The follow-up to this is that summer after we did that proving, I talked to my friend who had lost her daughter to suicide and told her that she may want to take it because she had asthma. It's a very lung-oriented remedy.
Mm.
She had asthma. It took her asthma away.
Oh.
She did so much better on this remedy. But she said, have you gone to see my daughter's memorial? And I said, no, I haven't. I didn't know she had one. She said, yeah, they created a form flow fountain and they put it in a botanical garden here in Buffalo. She said, you got to go see it. It's beautiful. I get my husband a couple weeks later. We go to the botanical gardens. I'm walking into the room where the fountain is, and I look on the ground, and there is a Thunbergia flower. And I go, what? And I get to the fountain, and behind it, they had built an arbor, and it was completely filled with vining Thunbergia behind her daughter's memorial.
Wow. Ugh.
It's
You know,
just,
I'm
what?
full of goosebumps throughout the story. Like, how
same.
remarkable. I knew
Because
before you said the word memorial, I kind of knew that you're going to say those flowers were there.
it just was remarkable. And I told Jan about the dream and like, I don't understand how that happened. I didn't even know what we were going to prove. And he said, we're all connected.
We
It
are
just
all connected.
shows that we're so connected.
We
And
are.
it was such a beautiful way to think about it. And it's true. It's true. And it's changed my life. That proving changed my life.
Oh,
I know that Nyla, you had goosebumps because I got them, but I also got a cold draft at that moment. When especially when the mother
yeah.
hugged you in the car in the dream. So I don't. Wow.
It was
Right?
like everything was there, the full theme of the remedy, and that I don't think that can happen to everyone unless we are actually connected.
hmm I think it's not only being connected, but connected. And that's why I like to have trituration provings with the substance,
Mm.
because you're in their environment. You're
Yeah.
with them where they grow. This
Mm.
is their place. This is their land. This is plant provings are amazing. I love them much more than any other kind of proving. But you're with them, and I think that connection is so strong because you're there with them and in their home, basically.
Oh, it's.
Yeah.
I was just thinking because fungus is still not classed as plants or animals or what are they? But I still remember because we have done proved another. We have also supervised RNA. We have also done a fish proving. But this fungus and how it connected myself, and all my other mates to the outside world and to the inside world. It was just remarkable. It felt like we are becoming honey fungus. We're spreading silently
hmm
everywhere, and people are connecting, and we are connecting to them without even talking. And because they're
Yeah,
living beings, silently living.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with fungus, that's their job, right? Is to be the
Mm,
foundation and the connection. So to feel that,
mm,
pretty powerful.
mm.
You know that story that you
It
relayed?
was very.
I'm telling you, it's still with me. I can feel the energy of it. It's such a strange feeling. That's why I've gone very quiet, because I can still feel it. It's like
Yeah.
here. It's here. It's like some sort of very gentle, nice, not nice, but yeah, well, relatively nice pressure on the chest. Uh,
hmm
it's difficult to
Thing is,
put everything into words
something,
sometimes, but
whenever anything happens to our children, the first thing that we do is go into guilt. I neglected I neglected them. My fault. Only if I could do
hmm
this. Only if I was
hmm
there at the time. Only if I
Yes.
knew this is going to happen, whether it is giving them a wrong remedy, medicine, whatever is happening. Parents, they do say this to them. They're always under this constant guilt. Oh, even my child is late for something. My fault. I could have woken them up earlier. We carry
Yeah.
guilt all around us, and then anything happening to them, right, something like this, like life
it
for
takes
So
us on to, yeah, sorry, go. Please go.
no, I was just saying, so you can see how this remedy has been used so many times, like
Mm,
all over the world at this point. Just such an amazing thing. Just an amazing thing.
Amazing.
would it
And
be helpful also if, for example, someone has lost their partner and they feel that the guilt is because they couldn't look after them or
Yes,
they
it's
couldn't
it's
see them?
not just about children.
Yeah.
It's about loss due to your neglect, and you feel
Mm,
grief and guilt.
mm.
which takes us on to any other remedies that you would like to sort of just highlight, maybe another story as such, because I find that with these provings and how involved you have been in them, and it's a very interesting way to proving's always help educate students of homeopathy, and we have thousands, listening to this show. By the way, and this is not a plug, but it's just something to say. The Homeopathy Health Show is actually on the Society of Homeopaths. As you can earn CPD points by listening to the show. So woohoo! Yeah,
That's wonderful.
isn't it just world first?
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think that another proving that was really important to me, and I've mentioned it before, was the monkey orchid, Orchis simia. I was very passionate about it. Lou Klein and I had quite a few discussions with a group of people that we were looking for remedies at the time that would be helpful in cases of autism. And we thought that orchids could be an answer to that. Obviously, now we know with Jan's work that ferns are a better group of plants for that. But did show up, autistic traits did show up in some of the provings, especially with Phalaenopsis gigantea, that the elephant ear orchid, more of those tendencies showed up where they kind of felt that they were underwater and cocooned. But with the monkey orchid, the thing that was the most interesting to me is the idea, the animal and the plant. And I think most of us, or some of us, I don't know about lachesis. Kind of the essence of lachesis or monkey's milk is about covering up being smart and intelligent, not wanting to show that you're very smart by acting foolish or acting silly or being, the class clown sort of thing. That translated into the monkey orchid because there was also a covering up. And we know that orchids, part of the theme of orchids is deceit. So they try to deceive you. Well, the way that monkey orchid tries to deceive you is that they feel danger. They feel that they are in a situation where they could be harmed. It's a very, the movie that you could liken it to is A Beautiful Life, where they are talking about the concentration camp and how the father and his son are in a concentration camp. And the way the father protects his son is by making a game of it, being silly, acting goofy. And that's the whole movie, is he makes a game of it to protect his son.
Mm.
And that is orchisimia, is they get goofy and silly to protect themselves from horrific things.
Mm. Mm.
So that the cover up or the deceit is, I am in a horrible situation, but I won't let anyone know, and I'll act like nothing bothers me.
Mm.
And so it was a very interesting proving, because trying to get to this essence, like I said, was so huge and so cumbersome, but it became so clear finally at the end as I got through all the information, and how it likened itself to the monkey, So the orchids are really interesting because they do that mimicry, right? They have that mimicry that they do. And so they have that essence of animal in them as well.
It's fascinating, really is. I mean, what a wonderful conversation, actually. I mean, it's
Wow.
just so lovely, so much knowledge that you've shared.
You can do
Oh,
a
thank
webinar
you.
on orchids alone.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because apart from Louis Klein, I don't think anyone has done a much wider work on monocotyledons or orchids or remedies like these. I think that would be very good way to start and maybe dig deep into it, because I can just think of someone who they when they are interrogated they just play silly. And
Yes,
always
exactly.
thinking, what is happening? Why do they just become silly when even though they're being told off?
Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly it.
mm,
Yeah. I did a lot of work for Lou's book.
mm,
So a lot of the provings that I did ended up in Lou's book. In fact, we had started to write that together, but then I got so involved in doing these provings that I just like, can you just run with this? So yeah, and the book is a really good book. And I'm going to be presenting fly orchid in the lecture.
Oh
ooh,
yes,
Um,
when this comes out, you'll have done that already. So we will actually, maybe we can do an Insta live even and get you back on and talk about that. That would be nice, you know?
okay,
Yeah, we can talk
and see
about
how
that.
that went.
Hey, yeah.
or maybe we can yeah, we can talk about it.
And there are, yeah, and some other things as well.
I want to learn about orchids.
Absolutely.
It's so
Yeah, I
interesting.
think it's
Yeah.
so important. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're wonderful.
Yeah.
There's so many varieties, and they're like all over the world. The only place in the world that doesn't have orchids is Antarctica. They're
Wow.
everywhere. They're everywhere, and they adapt. Their adaptation is remarkable, what they can do to survive.
Mm-hmm.
There's this great story about the wasp orchid. And the wasp orchid is found in Australia. I don't know if it's in New Zealand or not, but anyway, um, they the orchid has perfected the wasp pheromone to such a degree that male wasps will actually mate with it. They'll actually ejaculate, and they die after they do so.
Wow.
So they have not, procreated because they're instead pollinating this orchid. And so the female wasps are now left with very few males to be able to procreate with. So what nature has done is that the female wasp is able then to fertilize her own eggs, and every egg is a male.
Mm.
So when they're born, she's repopulating the males of her species while they are off procreating with an orchid. It's just remarkable to me.
It's such
Nature is
Amazing.
amazing.
nature is
Amazing.
amazing. Like, look, I am evolving for my creation, and you are going behind an orchid
Yeah.
Yes,
and dying.
exactly. So funny.
That's
Yeah,
actually
it's
quite
amazing.
funny. That took me a bit of time to get. It just registered. That was quite, that was funny.
The female is doing so much
That's
work.
right.
The whole effort she's putting in, she's evolving. She's now creating her, fertilizing her own egg, and creating more male population, and they're just going behind the
And they're
orchid.
but you have to hand it to the orchid. They're certainly growing in population too.
And
Well, of
popularity, it
course they
seems, as
need
well.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Hilarious.
no comment, no comment. This is the Homeopathy Health Show.
Yes.
So many things I want to say, but I can't. Um,
Uh,
hey, Sally, we were going to say, you do so much for homeopathy, and we all know that it's a service to humanity, isn't it? And, helping people, and we've spoken about the provings today and the beautiful stories that you've shared with us and everything. So from Nyla and myself and the listeners of the Homeopathy Health Show, and actually the Homeopathy Health Show itself, and all the staff and everyone that works and all the other 41 different shows and the 49 presenters and whatnot, we just wanted to say thank you for everything that you do, and we wanted to show you the utmost respect.
Thank you. I very much appreciate that.
Thank you.
And yeah, we mean that, and it's just really nice. It's nice that you came on. It's so nice that you shared, and it's been really beautiful, absolutely beautiful, hasn't it, Naila?
Yeah, it was like the hour passed, and we are at the end of our today's show. I just could keep on. I can just keep on talking
Yeah.
and listening to the orchid stories. It's so
It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing to do. Talk about homeopathy.
yeah, we see that, and that's why we honor and respect you and everyone who has dedicated their life for homeopathy. It is not easy to live, breed homeopathy, to give the pre-approvings to the world, to stay up, because we know what we face every day, and it's challenging, but staying there, doing it, we are really thankful. Thank you. And
Thank you.
we love to have you on the show. And all the best for your seminar. We would have loved to be there, but we'll see you. We'll meet you soon.
Another time. Yeah.
We
Thank
will.
you so much.
I do hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of the Homeopathy Health Show. Tune in every week for inspiring conversations, bringing you all things health and well-being to your radio and podcast apps.
The more exposure the Homeopathy Health Show receives, the better for homeopathy around the world.
And please do support the show by clicking follow on our socials.
You can find us at www.homeopathyinpractice.co.uk and on Facebook and Instagram at Homeopathy in Practice. Do give us a follow on there. Let's promote the voice of homeopathy around the world together. Until next time, stay safe and take care.